The Ryan and Rush Show is brought to you by Vision Homes. If you're looking to build a home in North Central West Virginia, visit askvisionhomes.com. Vision Homes, building you a house you're proud to call home. And don't forget to subscribe to the Ryan and Rush Show, but don't take our word for it. Take Coach Nealon's.
Hi, this is Coach Don Nealon, and you're watching the Ryan and Rush Show. Please subscribe.
And we welcome you into a special edition of the Ryan and Rush Show, your source for West Virginia sports. Without further ado, we welcome on, we're already going to call him that, West Virginia baseball coach legend, Mr. Randy Mazey. Coach Mazey, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Do you mean to tell me that Rocky sponsors your podcast too? You know, he sponsors my podcast.
Rocky's a smart businessman. Have his foot a little everywhere, and then when one takes off, he was behind it the whole time, right?
Should we make him pick a favorite podcast for these sponsors? Is that doable?
Yeah,
I think we can arrange that. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think we should put Rocky on the spot. He likes to be in the center of attention, so he would like that, I think.
He's been great to us. He's been great to WVU baseball. Good dude. Somebody go buy a home from him.
Someone go buy a home from Rocky. We love you, Rocky. Thank you for your sponsorship for both podcasts.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, let's get right into it. About a month and change since the season ended. Just fill everybody in what you've been doing post-retirement with your family in the draft.
You know, I had no idea that you could live life stress-free. It's been amazing. This month has been enjoyable. Feel like I've reconnected with my family and doing exactly what I set out to do. Spend more time with them. Going to stay involved with the program and keep promoting West Virginia baseball, and been doing a little bit of that. So it's been great, man. After I've done it for a month, I thought, man, I should have done this when I was 48 instead of 58.
I think everyone in America feels that way, that if we could take it, retire when you can, right? But hey, it's definitely well-earned, Coach. And of course, when you grind it out the way you have and earned it like you do, that's why you're probably able to relax more and breathe a sigh of relief, because as the saying goes, you left it all out on the ball field. But if you don't mind, take us back a little bit, because when we bring coaches off on the show, we like to ask this question a lot, right? Is you were a former player, spent a little time in the professionals. But it's not like you ended your career and you're like, oh, I'll be my son's little league coach, or I'll do a little coaching there. When you decide, hey, I want to be a baseball coach, I mean, that's a commitment. And as you know, at first you're doing a lot for next to nothing. And talk about kind of that decision process that you made going into, you know what, I love the game of baseball. I played it here for a bit. Now I want to get in the coaching side of things.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I was pretty fortunate. My daddy was a coach, and when I got to college as a player, I feel like I was a little bit ahead of the curve as far as feel for the game, baseball knowledge, and when I finished playing, Coach Wilhelm was my college baseball coach, and he coached for 50 some years, and everybody kind of has a mentor in their profession, and he was mine, and I realized right away I wanted to get into coaching. And as soon as my short-lived professional career came to a close, I actually tried a real job one time. I was going door to door selling chemicals and cleaning supplies, and I did that for a couple months, and that was just a beating. I'd rather be in the ring with Mike Tyson than do that again. But tried that for a couple months, realized I wanted to get right back into the game and find a way to make a living and at what I was passionate about. So I consider that a win.
Coach, let me ask you about your different stops. So you started as an assistant at Clemson, then you go be the head coach at Charleston Southern, then at Georgia, back to being an assistant, East Carolina, Tennessee, then back to being at ECU. What about your stops at Charleston Southern and ECU, leading those programs, prepared you for the West Virginia job?
The thing about Charleston Southern, that was awesome. I was crazy to take that job. They're RPI. I think the year before I got there was like 280 or something like that. It was one of the worst programs going. And I was only 27 years old, and that opportunity came up. And I was like, all right, man, it's time to put up or shut up. Let's see what this profession's all about. But what a great experience, because had no assistant coaches, had no budget, had a couple volunteers helping me, but I was the academic guy. I was the strength coach. I was the baseball coach. I was the pitching coach, the hitting coach. As I took care of the field. I think a video surfaced of me in the last month of this season. I used to drag the field at Charleston Southern with my Toyota 4x4 pickup with a screen tied on the hitch on the back. So I had to learn this profession from the bottom, which I suggest everybody do. So how it goes on the ground floor. So took a lot of pride. We didn't have much, but what we had, we were proud of, and took a team that was, as bad as it was. And 3 years later, we won the Big South Championship and went to a regional for the first time in the history of the school. And then it was onward and upward, chasing opportunities from there.
So that Charleston Southern experience you talk about, I can definitely see how you can use it for when you get the gig here at West Virginia in 2013. You're an assistant at TCU. You get a taste of Big 12 baseball, through that route. West Virginia comes knocking on your door, and well, we're not playing at the field that we're playing now that you were help, get us there. It's definitely a little bit of a different situation out here in Morgantown, at least the baseball scene. Talk to us about, you come in, your vision, what you wanted to become, just that process of really building a baseball program here.
Yeah, a lot of people told me the same thing. I was crazy to come here when they went down and saw Holly Field and the facilities and the press box, and like, Mace, what are you doing getting into the Big 12, But Oliver Luck was the AD and came up here on an interview, and that joker talked me into taking this program. He convinced me that we're going to get into Big 12 and a great baseball league, and we've got plans to build this grandiose facility and need your help with that. And other than that, he said, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I need a coach that can run this thing. And I've been crazy enough to think that probably because of my Charleston Southern experience, and when I was a head coach at East Carolina, we won a regional and played in the super regional. So I was a little bit guilty of thinking that you could win anywhere if you just go about it the right way and work hard enough. And so nothing scared me, when I was a younger coach. I loved the challenge. It seemed like my niche in this profession was to go to places that needed help at the time and do your thing. And a couple of years later, you're reaping the benefits and the rewards of all the hard work you put into it. And I felt the same way about this one. Wasn't great when I got here, but I thought if we just come in and do our thing and teach kids and recruit kids the way we know how, that we could turn this program into something special, And here we are 12 years later. We've got a Big 12 championship trophy in the trophy case, and won a regional this past year. And heck, we've been ranked in the top 25, I think, in 8 consecutive seasons now at some point. So to go from where we were to where we are, there's a real sense of pride, not for me, but for the state of West Virginia and the Morgantown community and the university. I think this state has been searching to have good baseball for a long time, and now I think the residents of the state are proud of this program. I don't know how to track viewership, but I think a lot of people watched that super regional. At least a lot of people told me they did, and that's something I'm very proud of, that we have a state now that's proud of this program.
That's great.
I can guarantee a lot of people watch that super regional. That was an unbelievable series. I wish we had been on the right side. We were right there. But Coach, talk about like your early days here. You guys overachieved right away. You finished third your first year. You sustained success. Talk about how special though that 2017 and 2019 teams were, because you guys were able to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 20 years in this program?
It seemed like we just kept on doing things that had never been done before in this program. And when we got the at-large bid to a regional in 2017, that was the first time in recent history that happened, and that was really exciting for the university and the program. And then in 2019, I think hosting the regional really changed the face of this entire program. There were so many people that came out to that regional, and what an electric atmosphere. And I think that set the stage for the future. And now, every home game that we play is kind of like that atmosphere was in 2019. So I think that was a pivotal point in this program's history, hosting that regional. And that was, the likes of Alec Manoa and Darius Hill and guys like that led that program. And, we just kept on doing it. And then next thing you know, we're winning a Big 12 championship for the first time in this program. And then go to 2 regionals in a row and win one of them. It's like we've done a lot of things that have never been done before, but I left old Coach Saban's a little bit of upward trend yet to go because we haven't reached the College World Series. I'm leaving that on the table for him. So I'm going to be a fan and a helper at this point.
That's smart, Coach, because if he takes him to the College World Series, that was your team. But if he doesn't, hey, I turned the program over. Look what happens to it. So you're in the perfect place, Coach. Good for you. You did that just right.
Yeah, he's going to do great things here. He's a lot different than I am, but he's a great developer of players and a great recruiter, and they'll continue to put great teams on the field. I'm really looking forward to people ask me all the time, what do you think about Coach Saban's? What do you think about Coach Saban's? And you can look through all the smoke that I blow about that when you just think about the fact that I sent my son here to play for him.
Yeah.
And that in itself says enough about how I feel about Coach Saban's. I feel like he's going to develop my son as a player and have a great team surrounding him and give my son a great experience here.
That's awesome. And you get to play the role of dad too, which, as you kind of talked about, I'm sure you're enjoying and really looking forward to as well. But kind of talking about a little bit these past couple of years, talked about the super regionals. You went back to back to tournaments, obviously made the first super regionals in program history. They talk about a lot, right? Your curtain call, whatever career you may have, is how important it is to do it right, to do it with grace. Obviously, you don't want to do it too early, but rather a little early than a little too late. Talk to us. Just you win the share the Big 12 last year. You get your second Big 12 Coach of the Year, and you get to end with going to a super regionals. Just this last group, how important was that to you? How did it make you feel? Just kind of all of it.
I decided to retire a year ago. And I can honestly say I retired when I did for the sake of the program. I didn't do it for my own sake. I wanted this program to continue. And if you don't have a smooth coaching transition these days in college athletics, the players leave. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted this team to stay together. I wanted all the recruits to still be excited about coming here. So we made the plan a year ago for Coach Saban's to take my spot. And I think that worked out great because no players left and everybody stayed together and we had a good year. But ultimately, when you retire, if you want to be brutally honest, you're saying that you don't want to coach anymore. That's what retiring is. And a year ago, that's how I felt. But coming down the stretch, and when we went to the regional and won the regional, I actually wanted to change my mind because I started enjoying myself. But I told the guys I made the decision I didn't want to coach anymore, but I actually wanted to coach this year's team as long as I possibly could because it was a special team with J.J. Weatherholt and Derek Clark doing what he did. It was a special team, and I couldn't have gone out on a higher note with a better group of kids. You know, most coaches at my age, when they say you retired, let's be honest, you were forced to retire most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to go out on my own terms with a team that I really enjoyed and a coaching staff that I enjoyed being around, I couldn't have picked a better. Well, we could have gone to Omaha. You know, it would have been a great storybook ending. But I don't. I'm still young. I'm still 58. I'm not retiring from life. I'm just retiring from being on the field.
Yeah.
I've been on the field for 40 years and want to do some things different. Want to do some motivational speaking and you guys might know my wife and I have a podcast that we started that we're having a lot of fun with. So I want to stay involved. I love the state of West Virginia. I love the people. I love the community. I want to stay very active with this state and do what I can to help promote West Virginia baseball in this state.
I absolutely love it, Coach. And I love and respect just the way that you went out too. Like you said, you got plenty left in the tank, but you're going out on your terms and you're setting you left the program in a better place than you found it. And a lot of guys don't do that in the coaching industry. You mentioned Coach Saban, who's been with you for a while. Talk about to Mountaineer Nation what we're getting with Coach Saban, because we get to know him more and more being in the spotlight as the manager now.
You know, we're different. You know, he's a grinder. He's a recruiter. He's in the office or in the weight room working out every morning before he hits the office, and he's got a relentless work ethic, and he devotes a lot of time to the players. I'm anxious to see how he manages a game because he's not done that under me. So I'm like everybody else. I don't know what style of baseball he's going to have, but I'm anxious to see it. But this is his team now. I'm going to be a big fan of his and watch how he does things. But I have ultimate confidence that this program will continue to trend upwards. And I have no doubt in my mind that at some point here that the Mountaineers are going to be in the College World Series with him at the helm.
Awesome. That's great, Coach. Coach, we know taking up a lot of your time. We have, I guess, 2 questions left for you. We always like to ask, especially coaches before they head out. But in this case, we'll tailor it to you a little bit. The first question is, 1, how do you want Mountaineer Nation to remember you? And 2, you've talked about Coach Saban's here a little bit, but maybe more in a general context is, what is your message for Mountaineer Nation moving forward in regards to the baseball team?
Yeah, it's kind of, this profession's kind of crazy. We get judged from the outside based on how many games we win. That's how people view coaches, but I don't think coaches view themselves that way. I view myself as a teacher of young men, trying to get them to become good husbands and fathers, and I dictate my success on how successful the kids are in life after baseball. It's pretty cool when both worlds collide, and I consider myself having success by teaching kids, and you win games at the same time. That's pretty cool, but I want people to remember me as a guy who, I turned down a pretty good contract. I had 5 years staring me in the face. I could have stayed here, but I didn't want to do that for the sake of my family. In this profession, you miss out on a lot of things. You miss out on raising children and spending time with your wife. And I want people to remember me as a guy who sacrificed all the coaching accolades and the big contract just to be a good husband and a good father. And this world isn't about how much money you make. It's about what kind of footprint you can leave to the people around you. And like I said, I didn't retire from life. I'm excited about life right now. And I'm present with my family again for the first time in 35 years. And I went catfishing with my daughter 2 days ago. Took a float trip with my son last week, and going to Switzerland with the family here in a couple weeks. So for the first time in my career, I think I'm actually devoting more time to my family than the baseball field. And I want people to learn from that this job is what I do, but it's not who I am. So I want to be remembered as a good guy that did a lot for the people of West Virginia, but tried to teach the players and the residents of this state that there's more to life than your job.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I want to continue to be visible in this state, in this community. I love this state, best place I ever lived, and we're outdoors people. And West Virginia is the largest outdoor playground in the world. And I want to travel the state and meet people and do things. And I don't know if you can read my shirt.
That's great. That's a sweet shirt.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I fish that.
So I'm always looking for a good opportunity to stand in the river with somebody and have a good time. So I'm not coaching, but hopefully I'm not forgotten in these parts.
Oh, gone but not forgotten. We can never forget you, Coach. You were. Ryan actually has the best, I guess, analogy it would be for you is you're the Don Nealon of the baseball program. You got us on a national level. So thank you for that.
Well,
sincerely.
That's the ultimate compliment. He's a tremendous man, did a tremendous job, and I feel like we have a lot of similarities. He's a great guy. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and what a compliment to even be mentioned in the same sentence with Coach Nealon.
Yeah, he's the absolute best, and so are you, Coach. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
thank you, Coach.
Thanks for having me, guys. Been a pleasure.